Green flag goes back in the air. Lap number 52 down on the inside, a couple of Fords. You've got Brad Keselowski and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. there. Top side, you've got William Byron and Kurt Busch.
As expected, Stenhouse will give Brad Keselowski a bit of a shove. Kurt Busch trying to do the same right now, but not having a lot of luck on the back bumper of the William Byron machine. As a result, they're 2 by 2. Nobody with the advantage to the super stretch.
Keselowski not able to get out into the clean air. William Byron leads the inside line. He's got a ton of drafting help. Right now, he'll inch out in front. Matter of fact, Byron goes to the lead. They're stacked up from second on back.
Got Kurt Busch second to the high side. He checks to the left. There's Brad Keselowski in third. And now Ricky Stenhouse lining up behind Keselowski.
Byron on the outside lane has the point, but Brad is coming quickly down on the inside lane. Got a couple of Fords lined up behind him, providing some drafting assistance. But it's not working. Byron holds him off, and he'll continue to lead back to turn one.
William Byron with the advantage, but only by about 2/3 of a car length. Kurt Busch still trying to get it done upstairs. Begins to fade just a bit now between turns 1 and 2. Keselowski underneath him for second. Here comes Stenhouse looking for third.
Now it's William Byron jumping from the bottom to the outside. Now he'll reside in the middle. Now back to the outside of the racetrack. Look out. Here comes the run. Whoa, he throws the block. Keselowski's in the wall. Kurt Busch is in the wall. A dozen cars will crash and collide. Sparks fly with Denny Hamlin crashing. Joey Logano is in it. Bubba Wallace is in there as well, and others are sliding over towards Kurt Becker.
Chase Elliott involved. Also, Daniel Suarez picks up damage to the front end of his car. Denny Hamlin, the hood bowed in on his machine. Bubba Wallace, damage to the right side of his car. Kurt Busch's machine, damage to the left rear, all up and down the left side. Here comes David Reagan. He got a piece of this as well.
The big one taking place here at lap number 54. We'll go back and recap it for you in just a moment. A multi-car crash here at Daytona on lap number 54 as they were charging into turn 3 in front of you, Mike Bagley.
Yeah, it all started, Joe, when William Byron, the race leader, came across the nose of Brad Keselowski. He was trying to keep the lead, but Keselowski had a huge run, and he was getting a big boost from Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Contact was made behind Byron. It turned Keselowski up and into Kurt Busch, both those drivers into the outside wall, and then the majority of the balance of those involved just had nowhere to go. Showers of sparks, cars spinning and crashing, and at least a dozen plus collected over here in 3.
And that crash continued over in front of you, Kurt Becker.
Yeah, a lot of drivers have climbed from their machines along the apron in turns 3 and 4. Brad Keselowski is one. Ryan Blaney is another. Joey Logano for a third. Kurt Busch for a fourth. Logano took a look, walked all the way around his car, kind of shook his head, took the palm of his hand, ran it up across his scalp, and just acted like, these things happen. Same with Kurt Busch. He talked to the safety crew, shook his head, wait for another day.
Here's what it sounded like, at least what Brad Keselowski's take on that crash was.
I'm all right. She got turned by a bad block. Sorry, guys. He's out of the car.
All right, we'll discuss that and more here coming up in just a moment. Here's what we have, and this list will grow. Alex Bowman, Chase Elliott, Brad, Kurt Busch, Denny Hamlin, Eric Almirola, Brendan Gaughan, Bubba Wallace, Joey Logano, Clint Boyer, Joe Moore, the biggest names in our sport caught up in the big one.
And it happened pretty early, just getting underway in our second stage. Down to Steve Post.
It's a wounded car lot down here. We've got cars all over the place here. Let's see, Kyle Larson, they're working on the under the car, damage on the right side of that car. Austin Dillon looks like he got 3 of the 4 corners. Right front, right rear, left rear on that. David Reagan, they just took a can opener to the right front of that car. Damage everywhere on that machine. And there's other cars on down pit road and more cars down in front of Winston Kelly.